Welcome back to RSQ. We finished reading Shadow and Bone. If you're new here or just joining us for the first time, we are going to give our full spoiler review of Shadow and Bone. So if you're looking for recommendations on whether or not you should read it, this is maybe not the video for you, but if you've read it and you want to know how we felt about it, stick around. But our first category where we always start is to judge a book by its cover. So
this is a cover here. Obviously it's got the stupid freaking sticker on there.
The Netflix
sticker. I've got this Netflix sticker on my physical copy too, which is downstairs.
I should go get my physical copy. Please hold.
Okay. Well, he's grabbing that. This is a Netflix series. I have not seen the Netflix series. I know Dakota has, so he's got a little bit of like background. It can be like, oh, this character looks like this is like this. I audiobooked this. I actually flew through this audiobook. It only takes me like a month for an audiobook, and I did this one in like a week. I just happened to have a lot of time. I did not necessarily like the narrator, so I feel like that might have been a little bit bad on my... Oh, yeah, you've got yours. So I think I'm going to try and be like subjective and take the narrator out of this because that's not like super fair, but it's super hard because like trying to listen to what the narrator is trying to convey. And like if they have a lack of emotion, it really doesn't translate the emotion out of the book. So I don't know. This is just me ranting while Dakota was getting this book. Anyway, cover's cool. Cover Jermaine.
Cover is cool. I buy with the cover. We here on RSQ, we hate built-in stickers. We hate printed on stickers. Dumbest thing of all time.
If you like the stickers on here, this is objectively bad.
Straight to jail.
You are
it's
not
bad.
You're probably a bad person too.
I don't need my book to have a permanent mark that Netflix picked it up.
Trash.
I do have I have seen a cover of the original cover. Have you seen the original cover?
Not the original cover? Well, obviously
No,
it's got the sticker on there. But.
That's the Netflix cover. This is the original cover. It looks very different.
Looks Disney.
Yeah, it does. It reminds me of like for the wolf.
For the wolf, the color scheme, but I think it looks exactly like the books I read. Like, keep that up. What was it called? Sally's. It looks kind of the same like art style.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on.
Holding on. Also, this reminds me of like Agrabah right there from Aladdin.
Yep, I'm pulling that up right now actually because there's a Twisted Tale of Aladdin with that font, with that in the background. It's gotta be the same artist.
Yeah, I wonder if it is. Anyway, cool covers. The new cover is cooler. Objectively, though, the Netflix sticker is stupid. Get it out of here, straight to jail.
Straight to prison.
I think the Netflix series is better. Just gonna throw that out there at the beginning of this review.
I haven't watched it.
I'm gonna, I think it's better. I think you will can enjoy the Netflix series as a fantasy enjoyer.
It's possible. Based off the book, and this is gonna be a spoiler for the rest of the review, don't want to watch the show.
Yeah, I would almost say don't read the books. Just watch the show. The show was significantly better than the book. And I think that we should just do our review. But I think that the part of what made the show so much better is that the book is very lacking in any sort of content. So the show was able to just like do what it wanted and be successful. And it didn't deviate because there's not really much to deviate from in the book.
This is a shallow pool of information. The definition of pulling teeth, I feel like.
Yeah.
So to get into our characters, we're characters.
I knew you were about to say something semi-hot takey because the look on your face was like, so to get into it.
So the problem is, and I want to, another preface, this is clearly a YA book. I'm clearly not the audience for this. This is for young adult. Like
same.
Young adult. I feel like this is a 13-year-old girl, 13 to 15-year-old girl. This is their job.
You're right.
So that's how I feel. So I'm not a 13 or 14 to 15-year-old girl, contrary to what I look like. But so I feel like in the context of the book, the main character had some minor development. The Darkling had some minor development. Bagra had some minor development. But there was nothing really anything that kind of they were the same as they started at the beginning. You could argue, there was a twist, but they were still the same character.
I put that each character kind of just had one thing. Like each character had like one emotion, and that was their thing for the book.
I feel like the development that the author was writing was they got older, and it wasn't anything like they were just older in the same body.
Spicy, but it's true.
Give it a 0.25.
Yeah, same. Also gave it a 0.25. Uh, I think we disagree on this category, actually, but maybe because I both read this book, didn't listen to it, and watched the show. So I had a bit more. I'm actually not going to use this excuse here, but I, originality and creativity. It felt unique enough to me to be its own thing. I didn't think this was like something else. Like, what does this remind you of?
I feel like it was more so not necessarily like the world and like the overall plot. So maybe I'll change my answer. But it's very stereotypical girl chasing boy, doesn't get boy, falls in love with other boy. Oh, that didn't work out. Oh, the other boy's back. And I fall in love with that boy I should have been with the whole time. The second boy was actually a baddie. And then the whole literal light versus dark kind of pissed me off. I don't know why, but it's like the whole good versus evil. Well, she's got a light power where she just makes light beams, and there's a dark, shadowy place, and she has to expel it with her light. And I'm like, it just was lame, I think was my problem. I don't know if it was necessarily not original. It doesn't feel original.
Are those thematic depth complaints though, or are they?
No, because those are thematic excuses, I think. I don't think there's any depth. I think that the problem is she's like, oh, there's light versus dark because this character has light powers and this character has dark powers, and that's light versus dark.
No, I agree with
think
everything you're saying. I'm just wondering if that's a themes and depth point and not necessarily an originality and creativity point. Everything you said is accurate. I'm just not sure that it's. I don't know for me if it feels like that's like
I guess because
it was a shallow book and the themes were very shallow. But as far as like the powers and the setting felt like creative to me. The whole like amplifier thing was unique to me. The way that it went about it felt unique, even if like the book was really shallow. But that's like, we can disagree.
No, I'm not giving it the originality point. I think it was creative in the sense that like what they did with the elements they had was different. Like they had like
Yeah.
a shadowy area, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Shadow Realm. But it didn't
The
feel
Shadow
original
Realm.
at all. Everything felt recycled. From
Yeah.
the tropes to the overall plot didn't feel unique to me. But yeah, I felt like the setting and power. Well, not even. I felt like it was creative with what they did, but it didn't feel original.
Yeah. It being Russia based was cool. I don't even know if you picked that up. It's supposed to be like a Russian
Based off all the
themed,
names, yeah, her last name's like something odd.
Starkov, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I gave it a 1. You gave it a 0.5, right?
Yeah, 0.5.
Engaging storyline.
You can go first on this one.
You're like, I'm gonna sigh every category. The stakes were not enough to keep me engaged. There was not like enough problems. There was just the like, get rid of the dark shadowy, but everything the light touches is what belongs to us. What about that dark shadowy place? We must never go there.
Yeah. Okay, so there you go. The original part gone.
Shoot. They get rid of the dark shadowy place being the only like trial was just, and then the like there was the twist halfway through that like the Darkling wants to control you and he wants to make the Fold attack people.
His name's the Darkling.
If you're new here, that's another thing that Curtis has big beefcakes with is whenever names are too on the nose, it kind of bugs him.
Call it the Rudolph theory. I'm coming up with it right now. The Rudolph theory, right on the nose. I understand the theme. I don't need a bright fucking light coming off of your nose telling me you're the bad guy because your name is the Dark Lord or the Darkling or Mount Doom. Super lame. Super lame from a writing standpoint. It makes sense, like, kind of, if you're the character and you're like, we don't know, we've never seen this mountain before, and it brings nothing but despair. And the only thing that's taken the whole humanity down to nothing, we'll just call Mount Doom because it's fucking terrible. I totally get that naming, I guess. I'm getting distracted. The story was not engaging. I'm giving it a half point because I understand I am not the target audience. That's why it's getting the objective half point.
Same.
Because I could see how the story would be entertaining from a shallow level. If you're new to reading, this is something that I could see enjoying. It was extremely shallow and almost like I was listening to it and you really don't need to pay attention and you'll fully get what's going on. Not to say I didn't pay attention. So I'm giving it half a point. I gave the ending a 1. I was honestly just like, it was fine. It made sense for the story. It led into a sequel. Everything was kind of wrapped up. So I'm like, it ticked all the boxes. I just subjectively did not like it because I didn't like the book.
Yeah.
But overall, it did what it was supposed to do as a book.
This book. Yeah, it did the things.
Julie,
do the thing. Yeah. Same. I gave it. I don't even have more to say. I gave it a 1 here. A grumbly 1 because yes, it did the thing.
Well, it ended, I guess.
Okay. I have feelings about the world building and setting. Are you ready?
Okay.
My bias from the show, the settings were cool in the show, and the world building in the show was cool. So I'm a little biased because I have a mental picture. It's like you having watched Game of Thrones while we read it. Like
Mm,
I have a mental image of the world, which helped me a lot with this. Like they make a really big deal about it. The cut, remember the cut, the like Darklings ability to cut people in half, and then she does it too in the end.
she just makes a light sword. Yeah.
Yeah. In the show
Shoots little tendrily things out. That's what it made
he
it seem
drags
like.
out like a half moon crescent of dark energy, and then it like flies super fast and cuts people in half. So like I have this like mental image that's cool from the show, which was not the book. So it doesn't
This could be one
necessarily
of
get.
those rare instances that the show actually amplifies it is better than the book.
Yeah, that's what I said in the very beginning. But I think the show had it really easy because she got the help with the show, and she has gone on the record and said that she's matured a lot as a storyteller since she wrote this book, and that she was able to do a lot more with the show. And I think that because there's so little content in this book, the show didn't have to worry about deviating because there's not anything to deviate from. As long as they hit the 3 points that exist in this book, they've done it. So I gave world building and setting a half point. Maybe I need to give it less than that. What I was going to say is that the setting felt poorly written, even though in my head it was done really well. It felt poorly written. And the world building, I think, was terrible. Like I wanted to like it, but the more I think about it, like we don't know anything about anything. They've given zero information about where anything originates from or how anything came to be or how anything is like maybe this category is a 0. I think this
Yeah.
just bungled it. Like I don't understand how we have any. I had the realization when I was taking my notes. Why was there no information about where any sort of powers or anything came from? Why was there no like origin story? Why was there no information about the origin of powers or like
Even like, because it's
it could
not
have.
high fantasy, obviously. It's very low YA fantasy. But we should at least understand some tiny thing. The only information, world building wise, that we got was that amplifiers could only be used by one person. That's the only like tidbit I was like, oh, cool, information. Setting as a first time reader and through the audiobook, which is always a little bit more difficult for me, was gigabuns. I had no idea what was happening. I was picturing huge fucking desert with an occasional city, like small like town in between that was just like camps. And then there was like some foresty areas and a big dark slash. And on the other side of the slash was an oasis with an ocean that they had to like, that was where their port was or something that they needed to like ship stuff from. And they had to go through this dark land to ship fucking wool or whatever they were doing.
You see this?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool.
No, that's what I'm telling you. Like in
Who's that guy?
the one of the raiders that he is like killing when he first rescues her. The casting in the show was done well. Him being tall, dark, and broody in the show was done well.
I like how Tumblr is our source here.
Yeah, oh my gosh, that's not at all correct. The fold in the show looked really cool. It's this like big old, oh my gosh, I want the image. Here it is.
So I pictured that, but like 10 feet tall.
Yeah,
Like they could
it's
like
like way
clearly see
taller.
over if they like jumped high enough.
It's like looks like energy. All of these pictures are
Maybe
so
I
bad.
will see this. I mean, watch the show because like visually it looks fine, but like
Like the whole like I forget what they're
those
called.
things were terrifying. Not reavers, uh, something spooky.
But the show was really cool.
Bullcrust.
Yeah. The show was really cool. The casting was really well done. The way her powers were done in the show was really cool. The collar of the antler collar that he made her,
Yeah.
was really cool in the show too. We're getting not this is not a tangent. This feels that's not at all. It was you can like kind of see it here. Here you go. The way he like implanted it in her in the show and controlled her with it. You can see it here too.
I just
Instead
thought
of
it was
just
a
like
necklace.
yeah, in the
I
book
mean, I
he
know it
like
was
just
sewn in, but
yeah. Anyway, uh anyway, it was the world building and setting in the book was done.
I can't believe the book got greenlit, except that this around the time that like a lot of YA books were translating well to shows. It could be something.
It
And
got
they
canceled.
greenlit it. Shocking.
Like it's a bummer because I felt like it was good. They also they mixed in like Six of Crows with season 1. Like I read the synopsis for Six of Crows and I was like, "Oh, that happens in season 1."
I have Six of Crows and the sequel. I almost don't want to read it. They're really good.
Pretty distracted. I think it was a valid for the discussion, but world building is setting a big fat 0.
I thought the pacing structure was fine. It for whatever sure.
Shorzy packed. Don't know why I rated it because I was like, I do know why I rated it this way because I'm not the target audience, and I was like, I guess it did what it. I guess the emotion valid for people who are looking for this kind of book.
The book was shallow and it felt intentionally so. So the emotions were there, but not us as a target audience. That was
Yeah,
fine.
I gave it a 1 because it was like whiny girl who is chasing after her boy and
Oh
is
no, the
getting.
boy I liked is gone. A dark, spooky boy touched my collarbone. I want to make out with him in a closet. Oh wait, my boy is back. Why doesn't he love me? What? Huh? Huh? Huh?
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah,
I gave it a 0.75 because it needed something that wasn't there. I know it wasn't the target audience, but it wasn't perfectly written. So it needed I had to dock something. I don't feel good about giving it a full point.
same.
Silent prose,
I put not my cuppa, but it fit the genre.
retweet.
RRT. Meaning it gets a 0.20. It gets a 0 for depth.
We can't reindeer themes on light versus their powers. They're not really.
I mean, I put that there were hacked themes like overindulgent kings, standing up for yourself, like discovering. I know you don't want to hear this, but like discovering your inner
I'm only
strength.
kind of there.
It's what I'm saying. Quarter point for half baked themes. So like if I'm looking at 0.5 for themes and 0.5 for depth, it got a 0 on depth, and I gave it a half of its 0.5 for themes because like it had my themes, right? Like standing up for yourself and like discovering your inner strength, and like
You're right. I have
didn't
nothing to
like it.
add about it.
Didn't um ability tell the people.
So I initially so I give this a 0. I listened to the next like 2 hours of the audiobook for book 2.
Oh,
And because I wanted to give it a fair chance. And
I didn't
it
even know you did
just
that.
wasn't any better. It just felt like because the whole first 2 hours, and this is the reason why I stopped, they ended at the 2 exactly where they started. So the first 2 hours did not matter. We just wrote to write, is what it felt like. I was hoping for some sort of something. I'm not giving it more than 2 hours. I will with the first book. I hate D nothing. That's why I gave it 2 hours to the next book. I will not be finishing the series unless we love Rose in the future. And I'm like, I wish I had more context. There'd take me no time, but I just don't feel like suffering. So this is a huge year for me. I wasn't the target audience, so that's, but it left no lasting impact because I didn't hate it all.
It's a huge bummer, and I don't. It's really the hardest unknown potential of the future because She has so many books in the Grishaverse, and I'm like, do you one day like explore why there's Grisha and powers came from, or are you just like chilling writing books in your own universe about
How many
girls
books
who
are in the universe?
girls who fall for the Darkling? There's like
Because I know there's 3 in this series, and there's 2 in Six of
no,
Crows.
there's like I think 9.
Oh God.
I'm like 6 of G, Demon in the Wood, Language, Lives of Saints, and Severed Moon. There's 11 books, and
I can't imagine about what. Like,
three of those are series.
of the first book,
It's
the end of the like, where does it go? There's a
we should have just
gash of
started with Six
darkness.
of Crows.
Why?
It says on the website, if you like reading in chronological order, start and meet Markov, Sun Summoner, and Ravka's only hope for salvation. Or you can start with Six of Crows duology, and we promise you won't be lost. Here you join up with Kaz's crew of thugs and thieves. Duology takes place 2 years after the end of Shadow and Bone, but focuses on a new set of characters and plots in a different country. They, in the show, they did that in parallel. It was an alternate, like between Alina on West and Kaz's crew in East Ravka on the other side of the fold. It was really cool.
I'd be down to eventually read it because I've heard nothing but good things. This just knew they made a series, and I got it on like a super sale. It was like $11 for the trilogy. So, okay.
And then, yeah, so there's the trilogy, Six of Crows duology, King of Scars duology, which is another year after Six of Crows. So 3 years after Shadow and Bone series. And then there's 2 standalones. 7 books. Oh, sorry, 9.
As right, give us a 5. If I was giving this a subjective rating, this book would probably, but like objectively, 5.25.
Yeah, it just might not be our thing. Just might not be at all target audience for any of her books.
Well, we're not, but like even rating this as a YA book, there was like things that should there.
Yeah, I agree.
Because there's like Maze Runner. I haven't read
Yeah. Oh, find us.
Percy Jackson.
Grab one off the shelf.
I am number 4.
It takes a good YA book, which
And we stump. That was a good one. That one setting.
this book was just written poorly. It was written for teenage girls that don't want much. It's like that might be like a bit of a sexist like take, but
Not even though it seems like a fanfic some 14-year-old wrote that did really well and is really well. This is me judging.
Feel free to cancel me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So we gave this a like 5.5. 5. I gave it a 6. You gave it a 5.25. So we gave it a 5.6.
So we'll settle on a 3.
So we'll settle on a 0.
Let's
Recommend it.
Don't even know if I would YA recommend it because I have other books that would recommend YA.
It's I don't think I would ever recommend it. I think I would really have in the same way you do with Game of, I will recommend the show. It's only but like it gets enough of the story done in one season that I think after reading the synopsis for Six of Crows and reading this book, you'd either go watch the show and you'll be happy.
Don't read the book, watch the show, or don't.
Bada bing, bada boom, bada
That
done.
was Shadow and Bone, The Fates of Aten. That's what we're reading next. And then we're hopping back into the Echoes. So thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. And we will see you in Mars Q.